Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Brought to you today by Unibet, our sponsors at the moment. Listen, make sure you check out all of their excellent articles that they do. The links are in the description. I've got an article that I've done on 3 defenders that I think Arsenal should sign, and you'll be really interested to see those 3. As I keep saying, all these players going forward, brilliant, but defence. As what did Lee Judges say in his interview? He said, attackers win games, but defenders win titles, and I love that. That is so true, and we really could do with sorting out our defence. So check out that article, link in the description via Unibet. Now, Mustafi, yes, Squadron Mustafi, a player that really does divide opinion at Arsenal. Sort of, some people just like, he's the person that they rip into game after game. He did make a lot of mistakes last season that led to, some of them were quite bad mistakes that led to goals in games. And a lot of fans have sort of had enough of Mustafi and would like to see him moved on. There are also a lot of other fans that suggest that he's a bit of a scapegoat for everything that goes wrong. I mean, towards the end of last season, for me, he wasn't the worst defender at Arsenal. And also, again, as Lee Judges was pointing out on Saturday, a lot of times it's not just Mustafi, it's the defensive shape of the team. However, has Mustafi dropped a hint that he's going to be leaving Arsenal, or he expects to leave Arsenal this summer? Of course, all of the team are back in training now, only a week away from when they go on their tour of the US. And Mustafi has removed Arsenal from his profile on Instagram, where it says Mustafi, player of Arsenal. Some eagle-eyed supporters have spotted that he's removed that. He's also changed the picture of him. There's not one in there of him in an Arsenal shirt, and they are available because, they have done that shoot for Adidas. So is Mustafi hinting that he's going to leave? At the moment, there's no real club that I can see that have come in from. There's been no club at all that have said they want to take Squadron Mustafi. Remember, we paid £35 million for him. He's on a reported £90,000 a week wages, which is, huge wages for a defender. And what clubs out there are going to take him on that sort of wages? He's not going to want to leave unless his wages are matched. So we could be stuck with Mustafi this summer unless somebody comes in wanting to take him, maybe a loan deal. But at the moment, it's looking like Mustafi will stay unless he knows something that we don't know by removing all that information off his profile. Maybe he could be taking the mickey. I mean, I'm sure that Mustafi knows that he's a heavily criticised player, but he'll still put out the post back on top and things like that. And also, we've seen Aubameyang do this, and when Aubameyang did it, we weren't all saying, oh, he's going to leave. A lot of us were saying, oh, he's just changing his profile to something else, and which he did. So, doesn't necessarily mean that Mustafi's leaving, but should he leave? I want to ask that question to you guys today in a poll. Is it time for Arsenal to sell Squadron Mustafi? Yes or no? Or is he just always seemed to be that player that's made the scapegoat for our defensive errors? Would love to know. Vote in the poll today. Now, I did a poll yesterday, and in that poll I asked the question, which one of these attacking players, wing players, do you want? We've been linked with all 3 of them. Wilfried Zaha, Ryan Fraser of Bournemouth, or Lucas Vazquez of Real Madrid. And I can tell you off the poll, 70%, that's huge, said Wilfried Zaha. 25%, still pretty decent for Ryan Fraser. Only 5% said Lucas Vazquez. So we can see what the fans want right there. Option number 1's definitely Zaha. If not, Fraser would be the second option. And on Zaha, will we get any clearer news on what's happening with this Zaha situation? As I keep saying, it's going to be a really tough deal to do, a really complicated, really messy deal to do. There's no real updates today, despite, you know, lots of the papers speculating. Ivory Coast, they're playing against Mali tonight. Of course, Zaha's at the African Cup of Nations, and they're playing against Mali in the round of 16 games. If they get knocked out of that, then we'll be able to find out a bit clearer what's happening, because Zaha will then be returning back to England. If they progress on, which they are, you know, they are favourites to do. Ivory Coast, one of the favourites to win the competition. Then we won't be hearing anything more about this Zaha situation until he returns. And as I said, it could be that Ivory Coast go all the way to the final. So don't expect to hear anything on that one soon. That's going to be a protracted one. Which then calls into question the Ryan Fraser. Is he plan B for Unai Emery? Fraser valued around about 30 million, which would be a hell of a lot cheaper than buying Zaha. Although I've noticed that with Bournemouth, they're on the verge of selling Tyrone Mings, who was out on loan at Aston Villa last season for 20 million. Are they going to be in any big hurry to sell Ryan Fraser? They're also one of these clubs that are under attack at the moment for a lot of their top players. There's Callum Wilson that teams are sniffing around at. There's Nathan Ake at the back that teams are sniffing around at. So, are they going to be willing to let one of their other big guns go in Ryan Fraser? They've been playing hardball so far already, but if Arsenal come in and put in a really proper and constructive deal, will that be tempting? And again, are Arsenal waiting on Zaha before they decide on Fraser? It's going to be drawn out, this one. It really is going to be drawn out. Defenders is what we need. And Kieran Tierney, again, he's another one. It's been going on now for ages. Is Kieran Tierney going to sign for Arsenal? I was hearing some vibes last week that this was on the verge of getting done, but still nothing. It really does seem that Celtic are playing hardball with this one, holding out for £25 million. Arsenal are trying to bargain their way around this £25 million figure, but it does appear that Celtic are saying, nope, we're holding out, we're standing firm. And at the moment, again, nothing's been done. And you know what? These clubs, they'll know about the frustrations of the fans. They'll know about the Cronky out chants at the weekend. They'll know that Arsenal are under serious pressure to make some signings. So if you know that and you're bargaining, you hold out as long as you can and get as much money as you can. So it's going to be protracted, a lot of these deals. Let's get into some of your comments. Routine Cheese says, there's more chance of Robbie's hair growing back than Arsenal signing a decent player this season. I can grow it back, you know. Sahil says, Malcolm is a winger we should sign on loan. Put big money on a quality centre-back. Now, the Malcolm situation, we're being told that PSG, if they sell Neymar, which is what's going to expect it to happen this summer to Barcelona, they want Malcolm back as part of the deal. So getting Malcolm might not be as easy as what you think there. Ali Manzour says, why do our transfers always take forever? Manchester City bought Rodri, paid his release clause within 24 hours. This club is a mess, FFS. I think, listen, remember Manchester City, they got money just like that. They got the Champions League money as well. But then, listen, even when we've had money, it takes ages. I don't know what it is. And I think this season, the fact that we've got no Champions League and a limited budget means that we've got a bargain for every single player. And the deals are taking ages. If you remember last season, we got a lot of deals done pretty quickly. Although none of them were huge deals, but some of them like, you know, Torreira, Socrates, we did those deals very quickly in the window and they were able to travel on the pre-season tour. This season is proving a big problem. Flame says, Fraser is a bargain. We need that sort of creativity to provide for Laka and Aubameyang. Buy. Definitely, I agree with what all the fans said yesterday. I'd be in that 70%. Zaha, priority number one, would be a game changer up front for Arsenal. But if Zaha becomes impossible, Fraser's definitely a very good alternative. What happened to Carrasco? That's gone quiet, isn't it? Tala Loisiman says, Tierney at left back, Fraser at left mid. The link-up play would be unreal. That would be a good partnership. Both Scottish as well, both Scottish internationals. Kenny Ibrahim says, Robbie, what's happened to the interest in David Alaba? Remember that at the start of the window, or just before the window, we've been told that Arsenal linked with Alaba. I remember at the time thinking, Alaba ain't going to come to Arsenal. He's playing at Bayern, doing well. I would have loved, that'd be my dream signing. He is a brilliant player. But again, any hope of that, the dropping out of the Champions League into more Europa League would have done for that. Alaba's not going to play in no Europa League. And finally, Sunny Tex says, I'm fed up with all this link. But at the end of the day, nothing. That's what it is at the moment. Arsenal are, finding it very, very difficult to get these deals over the line. A combination of, a limited budget and no Champions League football is really, really putting us under a lot of pressure in the transfer market this summer. However, for me, where's Stan? I keep saying it in these shows. Where's the guy right at the top, sort of coming out to help out these guys and give them extra funds? Or maybe, listen, maybe that could be something that's happening. And that's why I don't want to judge it completely, because you don't know. They're not going to come out and say, you know what, Stan's giving us an extra 50 million to spend. Because then if all the teams that you're trying to do deals with find that out, the prices are going to go up. So maybe they're playing a smart one on that. But certainly at the end of this transfer window, there's going to be a lot of scrutiny on the Arsenal board, on Stan Kroenke, and to see what they've done. They can make great strides by getting some great signings in. Poor signings, I don't think, are going to be accepted. And also, as we can see with the Mustafi thing, there's players that need to be moved out. And I don't see none of those on the way out at the moment either. So all still to happen in the transfer window. Thanks for watching the show today. Don't forget the links to those stories I've done for Unibet are in the description. Also, don't forget Thursday, that's when we fly out to the US. We're going to be starting off in Vegas first. Going to be doing some stuff over there. Then we move on to Denver for Arsenal's first game. Then it's Charlotte. Then it's Los Angeles after that. Charlotte, Washington. Really, really looking forward to meeting some US Gooners out there. We're going to be doing a Q&A in Charlotte. Looking forward to that as well. But let's hope when they get out there, they've got at least a couple of players to bring some new faces. And I'm not just talking about Gabriel Martinelli. Come on, Arsenal. Let's get things moving.